Alright, let's check out College Board and see how I did on my AP exam. Okay, and here we go. Oh, let's go. I passed both of them. Yes. Yeah, 5 and 3. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Awards AP Scholar. Yeah. Huh. Can't believe I actually passed these. I'm gonna actually get credit. I am proud of myself. Hello, Internet, and welcome back. What you'd have just seen was my live reaction to my AP scores of last year. So, apparently, they are a 3 in English language and composition and a 5 in world history modern. Both of these AP classes, well, they were quite a challenge, and so was their tests, and I'm grateful that I mastered one and passed the other. Also, if you haven't known, both of these classes are for sophomores in the American high school system, meaning that yes, I have finished sophomore year, which is grade 10 for those who are not American, and I'm gonna go into junior year, or grade 11. Now that I have flexed my skill a little bit, I will now review my sophomore year that I have finished, and I will also give advice on how to get through it and survive it. Some of you may have remembered my freshman review and advice video for the year I took it. Now, this year is a little different though, so it requires a little bit different advice. So, since the year for me started in the dreaded year of 2020, unfortunately it had to begin in quarantine, meaning online schooling on Zoom. So, going over my schedule, I had health class for first period, English class for second period, third period was Latin, fourth was lunch, fifth was engineering, sixth was chemistry, seventh was geometry, and eighth was history. Now, like last year, I quite enjoyed all of my classes equally. Pretty much all of the teachers were relatively easygoing, except for the chemistry and geometry ones. And yes, that also meant that the AP teachers went easy on us as well. Yes, I understand how that is unusual, as they are perceived to be an advanced class, but the year was quarantined, so that might have been a key factor in why they went soft on us, especially the English teacher, as she, well, extended deadlines for work much later and later and later as the year dragged on. But eventually she had to stop it when AP exams were nearing. As for my other AP teacher, well, he actually went at a really slow pace that's quite unusual, as each unit took about 1 month to complete, or maybe a little more. Additionally, since these classes were in quarantine on Zoom, making friends was a little difficult. However, there would be the occasional breakout rooms or class discussions over the mics and Zoom, so that could be helpful in making friends somewhat. Next, we will discuss athletics. Now, just like last year, I participated in cross country. Now, unfortunately, UIL, due to COVID, could not provide us with courses from very far away and had to limit the number of teams there due to obvious risks of infection among the students that would participate in the competitions. Also, since quarantine somewhat messed me up, I got shin splints during the season, which means that your shin bone gets very stressed and strained as you run, meaning that my varsity status was stripped from me. I unfortunately had to participate in the JV competition during districts, and I did do decent, but the varsity team did not, so we kind of did not make it to regionals, which was unfortunate for my high school. Alright, next in sophomore year, I had to take quite a few tests. Of course, at the end of the semester, before winter break, I took midterms. Now, these tests were actually relatively easy as I scored a perfect score on 4 of them, and my lowest score was a 96. Okay, but that's enough bragging. I also had to take the PSAT a little later in the next semester, and it was actually live in school, with the masks and everything. So after I took that test, which consisted of math, reading, and writing, I actually managed to physically talk to some people and make a couple new friends under my belt. Yes, people, interaction in real life does make friends better. Also, in this next semester, I actually switched my health class to a class for speech. So after the era of exams and some classes, track season had begun. Now, track, of course, is different from cross-country running, but it's basically the same concept, for at least for me. I personally was a distance runner, and throughout the competitions, I actually got better and better rather than worser and worser, in contrast to last year. I ran the 2 mile and the 1 mile, and the 800 at least once. That one 800 time, by the way, was about 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Unfortunately, I did not get a better 2 mile personal record for this year, but for the mile, I actually beat my record from last year by 1 second by getting a 5 minutes 10 second time. I mean, it's only 1 second better than 5:11, but hey, at least it's something. But unfortunately, it was still not varsity time, and I hope to make it on varsity this year. Also, during and after track season, my school actually opened up again. We still had to wear masks, but COVID was dying down relatively, and hybrid schedules were no more, and cases dropped for those who chose to go to live schooling a little earlier. But yeah, I would say it was a bit easier going to live schooling because the teachers were right there. You could ask for help pretty easily. You could eat lunch with your friends more, and I actually managed to eat very nice and enjoyable lunches with a crazy group of friends that I had made. And the same thing goes for class, where you could easily ask for help among others and communicate. This was especially useful in chemistry class, as the labs we had to do. Teamwork really softened out the work for us as we divided and conquered. And also, it could strengthen friendships as well. So, as the year came to a close, the finals tests at the end of the second semester were actually canceled again due to COVID. So that makes 2 years in a row where they were canceled for me, so I can't really speak on that. However, AP tests were not, and unlike last year, they were full tests, so they would obviously be longer and a bit more challenging. I took them at home and instead did digital school to fulfill my attendance. And those AP tests, although they lasted for hours, as you may have saw, I managed to master one and pass the other. Now personally, I believe that the AP videos were also a great carrier for me achieving such feats, as the teachers, as I stated, they were going a bit soft on us, and also not giving too much work or too many exercises. So me watching AP videos for tips really came in handy. Now let's get on to a little bit of advice that I have to share. Sophomore year, in contrast to freshman year, the first thing you should notice is that there will be more opportunities for advanced classes. Last year, I only had one AP class, and this year I had an AP dual credits English class as well as an AP world history class. Now, usually when they're out of quarantine, they would probably go much faster paced and a little harder on you. So, if you want a challenge in sophomore year, you might as well take some more AP classes. Or, if your school offers it, dual credit is also an option, or the combined classes. Another thing you should watch out for in sophomore year is that they would probably give less extra credit than freshman year, at least for my teachers. This is probably because teachers do not quote unquote baby higher grades, so you're gonna have to do harder work on yourself than you were in freshman year, where it was kind of just an adjusting year for you in the past. And one last thing that you should note is that you can keep your old friends from freshman year, but also make new ones. I mean, if it wasn't for quarantine, it would actually be one of the good years in your high school career. The most enjoyable part of sophomore year, of course, it would be friends. But anyways, guys, the video is already about 10 minutes long, so I will now let y'all go. CCO5 is out and have a good school year.